it hits Kevin Durant's hands, it's a good pass no matter who it was intended for.
In a tie game, Durant for three for the win. He's got it! Can you believe it?
Durant.
Oh my goodness, boy, he ever couldn't get
Yeah, I'm Kevin Durant. Y'all know who I am.
Through 17 years in the NBA, there isn't much KD hasn't accomplished. He's made 15 All-Star teams, won 2 championships, 2 Finals MVPs, 4 Olympic gold medals, and several other awards. His rare combination of size and athleticism at nearly 7 feet tall with a monster 7'5" wingspan has helped make him an absolute cheat code on the court. But even though KD is incredibly talented, nothing he's achieved has been handed to him. Not only did he have to work extremely hard to maximize his potential, he had to overcome countless challenges throughout each chapter of his life. The injuries, failures, and public scrutiny would have caused many to fold, but KD is built different. He overcame all of his obstacles and became one of the NBA's all-time greats. This is the inspiring story of Kevin Durant. KD was born on September 29, 1988 in Washington, D.C. to his mom, Wanda Durant, and his father, Wayne Pratt. Together, they had 2 sons, KD and his brother, Tony Durant. Things would get tough for KD very early in life. When KD was just 1 year old, his father abandoned them. As a result, Wanda Durant would have to raise her 2 sons as a single parent. With no support from KD's father, Wanda leaned heavily on her mother, Barbara Davis, to help take care of her 2 sons. Once she became a single parent, they moved into Barbara's house. Having so many caring adult figures was important for Durant with how dangerous DC was at the time. Back in the 90s, DC had a lot of crime and poverty. The influx of crack into the inner city led to the rise of gangs. Competition amongst gangs for territory often resulted in shootouts, which caused countless murders. At the time, DC had so much violence it was called the murder capital of America. To keep her sons off the streets and away from the violent gangs, Wanda enrolled her 2 sons in the Boys and Girls Club. It was there where KD first started playing basketball. Seeing that her son had a strong interest in the sport, she signed him up to play for an AAU team called the PG Jaguars. Here, KD would play for a coach named Taurus Brown and an assistant coach named Charles Craig. In practice, they helped a young KD work on different skills like shooting, dribbling, and passing. They also taught KD valuable traits like discipline and work ethic. Unlike most children, KD was extremely receptive to what his coaches were teaching him. He was passionate about basketball, so he soaked in all the advice he was getting like a sponge. And he would work on his skills for long hours in the gym. This helped KD to become extremely gifted at a young age. Craig and Brown were great coaches, but they didn't just teach him how to play basketball. They also provided him food, took him to the movies along with his teammates, and made sure he got home safely after practice. They were legit father figures for him, which was crucial for KD since his biological dad chose to be a deadbeat. The AAU team that KD played on had other future pro athletes like Michael Beasley and Chris Braswell. With so much young talent, the PG Jaguars were unstoppable. They had an amazing record of 123-9 and won 17 tournament championships. KD played a crucial role for the team. He had a skinny frame, but his shooting and handles made him a dominant player. The exposure he received from playing for the PG Jaguars opened doors for him to play high school ball. And the early success KD had from winning at the AAU level helped him realize that basketball would be his life's work. By the time he was 12 years old, KD already knew he wanted to play in the NBA. He was clearly a prodigy, but everything didn't go his way. Growing up, he was always the tallest kid in his class, and as a result, he was often bullied by his classmates.
Times I've been depressed before, like once.
Why?
Just like I was insecure about how I looked. It was crazy.
You got depressed over that?
Yeah.
I feel insecure about how I look every day, so.
Fortunately, his grandmother made him feel better by reminding him that his height was a major blessing. Another struggle KD had to face was having to constantly move. With his mom struggling financially as a single parent, they moved to a different apartment every year.
We moved to different apartments. We lived in every part of PG County. So it was like we ain't really had no stable friends or a stable household. You know what I'm saying? Mom was at work, Pops wasn't there. We were just hooping.
Having to constantly relocate often made it tough for KD to make friends. But he appreciated his mom's dedication to provide for the family. And along with being a great provider, she instilled great qualities in her sons like work ethic and ambition.
Kevin came to me about 10 or 11 that he wanted to be a professional basketball player. And I said, okay. I said, but I'm going to push you. And you're going to be mad at me at times, but I'm going to push you because this is what you said you wanted. And I would come in the gym after doing practice, and the coach said, I want him to do 25 or something. And I was like, oh no, he need to do 100. Oh! But I didn't care because this is what you said you wanted. So if you want it, you have to do more than the next person.
Thanks to that incredible upbringing, KD has a great relationship with his mom. For high school, KD attended National Christian Academy in Oxon Hill, Maryland. By 9th grade, he was already 6'3" and played on the varsity team. As a freshman in high school, KD was already starting to establish himself as a great player, but his sophomore year is where he really started to blossom. By 10th grade, KD had grown to 6'7", and he had a versatile game. His height allowed him to play a center position on defense, and he was also skilled enough to play on the wing on offense where he could handle the rock and drain pull-up threes. Off the court, KD had a quiet, introverted personality, but on the court, there was nothing quiet about his game. He was an absolute killer. In his junior year, Durant transferred to Oak Hill Academy in Virginia to get more exposure. Oak Hill played more nationally televised games and competed against some of the best schools in the country. Several NBA stars played for Oak Hill in the past, including Rajon Rondo and Carmelo Anthony. Now KD was 6'9" and 190 pounds. At Oak Hill, Durant met a trainer named Alan Stein who wanted to help him improve. He knew KD was extremely skilled, but his body was very skinny, which was a weakness for him on the court. Stein had KD lift heavy weights and endure long, grueling workouts to get stronger. KD didn't enjoy it, but he knew this was necessary for him to get to the next level. That added strength made him a much better player. KD averaged 20 points and 8 rebounds his junior year at Oak Hill and was parade All-American. Durant's dream of becoming an NBA player was slowly coming into fruition, but then tragedy struck when he found out his old AAU coach was murdered. At the time, Coach Craig was enjoying himself at a bar, but then a fight broke out which escalated into a brawl. While heading to his car, he was shot 4 times in the back and killed. KD was devastated after hearing the news of his death. Not only did he lose a former coach, he also lost a role model, father figure, and close friend.
I wanted to do something for him, but I didn't know what. My godfather said the best thing you could do is wear a 35. That's the age he got murdered.
Despite being heartbroken, KD knew he needed to continue to pursue his NBA dream. To honor Coach Craig, he started wearing the jersey number 35, which was the age Coach Craig was when he tragically died. KD continued to dominate throughout his junior year, which made him a household name. The D1 offers came in droves, but KD eventually committed to play college ball for the University of Texas. After his junior year of high school, KD attended Montrose Christian School in Rockaway, Maryland, so he could be close to home and close to family. At Montrose, KD continued to play at a superstar level. During his senior year, he was a McDonald's All-American, and in the game, KD dropped 25 points and was co-MVP alongside Chase Budinger. It was time for KD to move on to college where he could play for the Texas Longhorns. Despite being only a freshman, it didn't take KD long to establish himself as the best player on the team. At 6'9" with agility and guard level skills, scoring was effortless for KD. He was a great player, but he was also humble. His ego was never too big to take constructive criticism. In fact, KD requested it. Throughout the college season, KD asked coaches what he needed to do to improve, and they helped him become a better passer and defender. Throughout his freshman year at Texas, KD stuffed the stat sheet, averaging 26 points, 11 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks per game. His production was incredible, but KD didn't just want to put up numbers. He was hopeful that he could help the Texas Longhorns win the NCAA championship. In the first round of the tournament, Texas matched up with New Mexico. At just 18 years old, this was the biggest stage of KD's life, and he felt a little nervous, but he powered through it. In the game, KD dropped 27 points and delivered in the clutch to help Texas win the game and eliminate New Mexico.
The old no-no that you can't do it, the officials blow the whistle automatically. Durant against Fisher. Durant stepped through, bank shot goes. Kevin Durant.
In the next game, the Longhorns had to face USC, who was led by Nick Young, aka Swaggy P. KD balled out in the game, leading all scorers with 30 points along with grabbing 9 rebounds. But despite KD having a great performance, USC was simply the better team. In the end, Texas lost by a score of 68-86. KD was disappointed in losing in the second round, but he was still proud of himself. He just had a great college season for the Texas Longhorns, and this was validated by him winning several awards, including the National Player of the Year by the Associated Press, as well as the Big 12 Player of the Year. KD's dominance at the collegiate level made him easily a top 2 prospect, so with his freshman year in the books, KD declared for the 2007 NBA draft.
The day that he walked in my room, he cried. He said, "Coach, I don't know how to say it really." He just said, "But I think it's time that I've got to pursue the draft." And he had to. I mean, one, he should have been the very first pick. I mean, that was a no-brainer, but he wasn't. But it didn't matter. You just knew wherever he went, he was going to be a difference maker.
You knew that he had that special it that a lot of the great ones have. I was an assistant coach in Seattle.
The Portland Trailblazers had the #1 overall pick. The Blazers strongly considered taking Kevin Durant with the first pick, but they ended up taking Greg Oden instead. At the time, Oden was actually the top prospect in the draft. The Blazers front office believed Oden would become an all-time great big man, similar to Shaq and Wilt Chamberlain. And Oden was extremely skilled and talented, but unfortunately, injuries ruined what could have been an amazing career. The Seattle Supersonics had the next pick, and they knew they had a golden opportunity with KD still available. So with the second overall pick, they selected him.
The second pick in the 2007 NBA draft, the Seattle Supersonics select Kevin Durant from the University of Texas.
After over a decade of absolute dedication to his craft, Durant finally achieved his goal of making the NBA. This was an extremely prideful moment for him, but now that KD was in the NBA, he had new goals and he shot for the stars. He wanted to become a dominant player and be recognized as one of the game's best. He also wanted to become an all-time great and an NBA champion. These were lofty goals, but KD knew he had the talent and the work ethic to achieve every single one of them. His talent immediately translated to the league where he was a walking bucket. Thanks to his ball handling and speed, he could attack the rim and finish with authority. And he was also a great shooter where his size and high release point helped him to raise over defenders as the ball would go through the net. Durant finished the season averaging 20 points per game. He was also all-rookie first team and won the Rookie of the Year award. But despite KD's excellence, the Sonics finished the season with just 20 wins. Durant wanted to build off his rookie season. Not only did he want to become a better player, but he also wanted to lead the Sonics to the playoffs. Around that time, the Sonics relocated to Oklahoma and rebranded themselves as the OKC Thunder. The Thunder also drafted an explosive point guard named Russell Westbrook with the 5th pick in the 2008 draft. Now the Thunder had an intriguing young core of Westbrook, Jeff Green, and KD, which gave the team optimism going into the 2008-09 season. The Thunder's front office was hoping to see improvement, but they got off to a very rough start with just a 1-12 record. Not only were the Thunder losing almost every game, but they were barely competitive as they were losing their games by an average of 13 points. This led to the Thunder's head coach PJ Carlesimo getting canned and replaced by Scott Brooks. Scott Brooks made some changes like moving KD to the small forward position and starting Russell Westbrook at point guard. OKC was now more competitive, but still couldn't generate wins. By late December, they were 3-29, which put them on track for the worst record in NBA history. The Thunder were horrendous, but these were necessary growing pains that would pay off down the line. The losses taught the young players valuable lessons on how to play winning basketball. KD improved as the season progressed and finished his second season averaging 25 points. This helped the Thunder to finish the season strong as they went 20-30 over their last 50 games. They still missed the playoffs, but it was clear that this young Thunder team was on the come-up. The Thunder would add more young talent to their core that offseason by drafting James Harden with the 3rd pick in the 2009 draft. They also brought on Serge Ibaka after drafting and stashing him the previous year. At the start of the 2009-10 season, the OKC Thunder were clearly a much better team. KD took another leap in his game. His scoring went up largely thanks to his ability to draw fouls, and he was an excellent free throw shooter at 90%. Russell Westbrook also got better, and James Harden was already having an impact in his rookie year. The Thunder hovered around 500 in the first half of the season, but by the end of January, they reached another level. OKC went on a 9-game win streak, and after it ended, they continued their dominant play. All of this helped KD to make the first All-Star game of his career. He also led the entire NBA in scoring, averaging 30 points per game, and he was the youngest player in league history to ever do it at just 21 years old. The Thunder finished the season with a strong record at 50-32. But in the unforgiving Western Conference, this was only good enough to be the 8th seed. This meant the Thunder had to match up with the Lakers in the first round. This would be no easy task. The Lakers had an incredible star pairing between Kobe and Pau Gasol, as well as several great role players. They were the defending champions and looking to repeat. The Thunder were the clear underdog, but they were still able to make it a competitive series. KD was aggressive, but he struggled against the stingy defense of Metta World Peace, which caused his scoring and efficiency to drop. Russell Westbrook, on the other hand, was having a great series, as he was able to easily drive past the older and slower Derek Fisher. After 4 games, the series was tied at 2 apiece, with both teams winning their home games. The Lakers had great all-around contributions in Game 5, which helped them blow out the Thunder to take a 3-2 lead. In Game 6, the Thunder nearly had the victory in the bag, up 1 with 10 seconds left. But then Pau Gasol had a key putback in the final second, which won the game and the series for the Lakers.
You got to double him. You cannot leave him one-on-one. Bryant for the lead. Misses. Gasol banks it in with 0.5 of a second remaining. Lakers by 1.
The Thunder were now eliminated from the playoffs, but KD was proud of what his team just accomplished. They made the playoffs for the first time in several years and nearly took the Lakers to 7 games. That same Lakers team would go on to win the championship. And KD had accomplished his goal of becoming one of the NBA's best players, which was further validated by him making the All-NBA first team. In free agency, the Thunder extended KD, signing him to a 5-year max contract worth $85 million. KD just had a big payday, but this didn't make him lose any motivation. He still wanted to lead the Thunder to a title, but in order to do so, he knew he needed to continue to improve. He used that offseason to refine his game, working on his shooting as well as different dribble moves to become an even better scorer. He also did intense workouts to improve his conditioning. The hard work immediately paid off. Later that summer, he played for Team USA in the 2010 FIBA World Cup.
Durant, beautiful move from Kevin Durant.
He led them to the World Championship while winning the tournament MVP. He was now a champion at the international level, but now it was time for him to win a title at the NBA level. He kept up his high level of play in the 2010-11 season, where for the second year in a row, KD was leading the NBA in scoring. This helped the Thunder have a strong 27-13 record midway through the season. But it wasn't just KD that made the Thunder a juggernaut. There was other young players on the team that was blossoming. Russell Westbrook made a huge leap in his 3rd season, averaging 22 points and 8 assists per game. He was now easily one of the NBA's best point guards. Jeff Green also chipped in with 15 points per game, and Serge Ibaka emerged as one of the NBA's best shot blockers. James Harden also helped by providing a nice spark plug off the bench. The Thunder were good, but the front office felt they needed to level up their defense to become true contenders. So midway through the season, they traded Jeff Green to the Celtics for Kendrick Perkins. Perkins not only added defense to the Thunder, but he also became a veteran locker room presence. This helped the Thunder finish the season strong, winning 55 games, which got them the number 4 seed in the West. In the first round of the playoffs, the Thunder had to go up against the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets had no answer for KD. He completely torched them, getting buckets from all over the court. His dominance helped the Thunder to win the first 3 games of the series, putting Denver on the brink of elimination. The Nuggets showed pride in Game 4, which helped them to narrowly beat the Thunder and keep their season alive. But their season didn't stay alive for long, as KD went berserk in Game 5. He dropped 41 points and scored 16 of his 41 in the 4th quarter to help OKC close it out and get the victory. Now the Thunder were in the semifinals, but they had to go up against the Memphis Grizzlies, which would be a much tougher matchup. The Grizzlies were a talented team with young studs like Zach Randolph, Marc Gasol, and Mike Conley. Furthermore, the Grizzlies' grit and grind style made them a good matchup for the Thunder. Their physical defense and slow pace helped them to limit the Thunder's offense. As a result, the series was tied 3-3 after 6 games, and would come down to a winner-go-home Game 7 in Oklahoma City. KD made sure to save his best for last. Throughout the game, The Thunder ran plenty of plays to get KD open from deep, and he was making it rain from downtown. In isolation, the Grizzlies defenders could do nothing against KD's incredible shot making in the mid-range. And on defense, KD turned the paint into a no-fly zone. His incredible production on both ends gave the Grizzlies no chance to win. In the end, KD scored a game-high 39 points, grabbed 9 rebounds, and blocked 3 shots. Russell Westbrook also had an excellent performance, dropping a triple-double with 14 points, 10 rebounds, and 14 assists. This helped the Thunder to win comfortably by a score of 105-90. KD was happy about advancing to the conference finals. It was a remarkable achievement, but he still had his eyes on the prize. However, the competition was only going to get tougher. Now the Thunder had to face a really good Mavericks team led by Dirk Nowitzki. In Game 1 of the series, Dirk and KD had a battle for the ages.
Well, now both obviously have to be careful the rest of the way. Nowitzki on the drive, gets inside, draws some contact, and he'll go to the line. And Ibaka did not.
Both superstars were absolutely on fire throughout the game. It went down to the wire, but Dirk simply hit more big shots in crunch time, which pushed the Mavericks to victory. KD had 40 points and 8 rebounds, but Dirk was even better with 48 points and 6 boards of his own. The Thunder were now down 0-1 in the series, but they weren't going to panic after dropping the first game. But tying the series wasn't going to be easy. Dirk stayed hot in the first quarter of Game 2, where the Thunder's defense had no answer for him. Jason Kidd also got a piece of the action by dishing and swishing to his teammates. All of this culminated in the Mavs having an early 10-point lead in the first quarter. With the Thunder down double digits, KD knew he needed to make a big play to get OKC back in the game.
Status right now in Dallas after his last 2 performances. Durant, oh, and a foul! Kevin Durant throws it down, gets hit, and he'll get a chance for a 3-point play.
This brought some much needed energy to the team. Russell Westbrook fed off KD's energy by scoring layups and knocking down jump shots, and James Harden was instant offense once he got in the game. With OKC's big 3 all playing well, the Thunder were able to outplay the Mavs and win by a score of 106-100. The series was now tied 1-1, with games 3 and 4 being on OKC's home court. The Thunder appeared to have the upper hand now, but the Mavericks made some key adjustments which helped them to regain control of the series. They knew they needed to contain Durant, so they increased the defensive pressure. They trapped Durant a lot, which forced them into turnovers, and Sean Marion stepped up on defense, which made it a lot tougher for KD to score. Russell Westbrook also struggled with his turnovers and shot making. Dirk, in stark contrast, was absolutely sensational. All of this led to the Mavs winning both games 3 and 4. Now they were up 3-1 in the series with the chance to close it out on their home floor. In Game 5, KD and Westbrook didn't back down. They continued to play aggressively, but shots just simply weren't falling. Dirk, on the other hand, had an excellent game, and he also got big help from Sean Marion, who not only was great defensively, but also delivered 26 points. This helped the Mavs win by a score of 100-96 and eliminate the Thunder from the playoffs. After losing the series to the Mavericks, Durant was emotional and disappointed, but he later viewed the loss as a learning experience. The Mavericks were simply the better and more experienced team. That same Mavericks team would go on to upset LeBron's Heat in the finals and win the championship. There was no shame in losing to the champs, but KD realized that if he wanted to be the one raising a trophy next year, he would need to get even better. It didn't take long for him to get back in the gym once the Thunder's season ended. He spent a lot of time working on his handles and different moves to become even harder to guard. KD was ready to show off his improved game, but the start of the season was delayed due to the 2011 NBA lockout. Despite several months of negotiations, the team owners and player unions simply couldn't come to an agreement. With the start of next season stuck in limbo, KD used the time to play in street ball games across the country. His most notable performance was in August of 2011 when he played in a game at Rucker Park in Harlem, New York.
Everybody's guarding them. All 5 of them. Everyone.
Durant scored 66 points in the game. His electrifying performance instantly made him a street ball legend. And along with dominating pickup games, KD also used the offseason to help produce the film Thunderstruck, a family-friendly film in which KD magically swaps basketball skills with a teenager who got cut from his school basketball team. Finally, on November 6th, the team owners and players union reached an agreement. The 2011-12 season would start on Christmas Day, and the season would get limited to 66 games. KD was ecstatic about the lockout being over and was ready for the start of next season. He had strong feelings that this would be the year he would finally get the Thunder over the hump.
The scapegoat move to try to ease your way in.
Well, have you?
Miami put themselves in position with a great first half to have a chance to win on the road.
The Oklahoma City Thunder take game one.
When you didn't eat, you made sure we ate. You went to sleep hungry. You sacrificed for us. You the real MVP.
The Warriors do it by becoming only the 10th team out of 233 to win a best of 7